Hello everyone, I'm Kevin Piland, and I want to thank you for watching this episode of the Kevin Piland Show. Now I want to talk to you about what I did recently. Over the weekend, I went over to my grandmother's house to see if I could hook up a sound system that my grandfather had bought, the newest one I've ever had, that is. Yeah. Well, I will say this. The sound system that he bought at a garage or yard sale didn't have a remote. But then I realized that if you have something that has a remote, you can use it. So I told my grandmother, I says, you know, maybe we should add the stereo to the mix. And that's what we did. We worked together as a team. And it worked out great. The easiest rule to follow was do without this Sunlink remote. And yes, they too have Sunlink just as much as I do. And you should have seen it, man. It was that amazing. But I never thought Green Archery Day would take place on the Westerns channel yesterday. And by the way, today is Monday, August 8th of 2016, in case some of you don't already know. Now, it's not something that I would have to mention, but I will mention this. Not every person can see things the same way as I do. And no, I'm not talking about opinions. I'm talking about the term colorblind. I learned about this yesterday when I went to visit my grandfather's stand. In fact, he's colorblind. But you wouldn't notice the difference. Because at the end of the day, being colorblind isn't so bad. The difference, however, is when you drive. The traffic lights will look almost the same, except the color may be slightly different to the colorblind person, but it's not so much the color that matters. It's rather by picture, if you will. Now, left is red, but so is the top. The bottom is green, and so is the right. That is the easiest way to tell the driver, hey, this is what you do. Most drivers already know what a stop sign is because they can read the word stop. They just can't see the traffic lights the way they're supposed to see it because all they see is a color that isn't really there. I might not have had to talk about this on my show, but since there are some people who may be colorblind that may be watching my show, what if they wanted to know what color shirt I was wearing? I'm wearing red, but they could be seeing yellow or blue. And I wouldn't have even known about it. Do I have to know about it? Not really. But the fact that I do now, more than ever, may mean a lot to those who may have questioned what was going on my show. Some could say, well, why is your logo green? It's not. It's red. Except you can't see the logo on here anymore because I'm using my tablet. Now, news-wise, the Olympics recently started. But we've had one announcer that works for NBC Sports that had to make an apology. I came across this on Twitter, but did not understand what the story really was about. But the idea behind being a commentator is you don't want to announce something that didn't happen. It just doesn't work that way. So why would I hear about something if I never saw the event? Well, That's because I might have heard about it on SportsCenter or Twitter or Facebook. Or I could have heard about it in other means. Now, I want to talk about the guy who matched my description from you see, about a week ago, I was watching KXVA when they changed their logo into the Fox 15 logo, and it was the first day that they were planning on doing a broadcast of the news. I couldn't see any picture for the first 15 minutes, but it was because it was due to a glitch, but it was eventually fixed up. But the following morning, I saw this guy's mugshot on TV. And he looked just like me, except I wasn't there. He had a mustache just like I do. And his chin looked almost like mine, but not quite. And he got arrested for assaulting a police officer. I thought about that and wondered, just what was he thinking? But it did mean a lot to me to know that he got caught doing something. Because the idea is to prevent the wrong person from getting arrested for something you know nothing about, and I'm glad I didn't have to worry about it. Now let's change the subject a little bit and talk about something for you guys. If you live in Abilene, Texas, and maybe some parts of the country where Sunlink cable is present, in case you haven't already discovered, over the weekend, supposedly August 5th, Sunlink added 2 bonus channels, but those channels are only available during the Rio Olympics promo. One's a basketball station and one is soccer. You'll see the NBC logo on the top right hand corner of the screen. That's normal, but it's not NBC you're watching. But it is powered by the NBC Sports Network. It's just like the extra time channels that you get when you have Sunlink. They reached an agreement with NBC Sports to provide coverage for those who might not have had the chance to watch half the sports that come on. That's what it's for. It's very similar to Sling TV, if you will. Sling TV has a different run to the Fox Sports Southwest people. They have like 7 extra channels, but they're not necessarily 24-hour stations, but it's something you can watch. You know, it's just one of those things. Not all companies have the same rights, but it's something you can watch. And Sunlink has the rights to the extra time channels. There are like maybe 4 or 5 of them, if not 6. You know, those are different rights. They're not 24-hour stations, but people enjoy watching them. Just like the Olympics channels of the basketball and soccer are also the same thing. Except there are no commercials involved. Instead, you'll see like maybe a schedule saying coming up next is this, or they'll have some more information about the sport in question. You know, that's just different. Now, as I'm thinking about any future changes, one thing is clear. My show will continue to be available on YouTube and Facebook. In case you haven't liked my Facebook page already, go ahead and do so as of right now. Search the Kevin Piland Show on Facebook and hit the like button. You're going to like what I'm doing. You can also follow my show on Twitter at PilandKevin. I've got fans who enjoy watching my show, even if they watch it with someone who does follow me. But every once in a while, you're going to come across a fan that just doesn't know where to go. I've come across people who might not have thought of watching my show. In fact, there was one gentleman that I met possibly at least 6 months ago. Of course, I haven't seen him in Abilene in a long time because he moved out to another station. But when I first met him in person, he was doing a story on behalf of Telemundo Abilene. Isaac Ramirez was a really great guy. I got to know him. He's a really cool person. And he's bilingual, which is good for those who need someone who can speak Spanish for a Spanish station. And if they need someone to speak English on an English station, that's where he'll go. He did that a while back and still does today. But I never even knew he was watching my show to begin with because I never saw him follow me on Twitter or even like my Facebook page. But yet he watched the show. And he wasn't the only one. If you listen to 102.7 The Bear in Abilene, Texas, you've come across, there's a radio station lady by the name of The Queen, and she watches my show. And I never knew it until I called the radio station. And that's when she told me, I'm a fan of your show. Well, go ahead and hit the like button. I showed it to her and she loved it. A fan is a fan by any name. Some may not know that there's a Facebook page out there, but if they're interested, they're going to watch it. That's just what they do. I like those Geico commercials where they say something like, if you're Peter Pan, or something like that. Or, more specifically, they'll say something like, if you're the band you'd love a final countdown. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. That's what you do. I love those commercials. And then there's Bon Jovi in those DirecTV commercials where he says, something like, the power to turn back time. That's because he's talking about a feature on DirecTV where you get to restart the show from the beginning in case you missed it. Sling TV has a similar feature on some stations like E&E, where you can watch something that happened like, say, maybe a day or two ago or something like that. The Food Network has the same feature, also on Sling. I may not be able to watch it at home, but you can. Just don't use too much data in the process, okay? Because I don't want you to go through what I went through. I had no idea I was using more data than previous thought, because I wasn't knowing the truth about it. I will watch Sling TV in other places, and if I was to buy my own internet, I'd probably give them another go, but I just don't want you to do anything that you probably never even thought would take up more bandwidth than you realized. It's bound to happen to a lot of people, so what? That doesn't mean I don't enjoy Sling TV, it just means that sometimes you just have to make changes once in a while, and that's okay. Now, if you've enjoyed my last episode on Facebook, thank you for watching as well. It was a Facebook exclusive. If you haven't watched it yet, go ahead and do so. Check it out. Like the Kevin Piland Show Facebook page. Search through the videos and you can enjoy watching them. Because I don't just post them on YouTube, I post them on Facebook as well, which is even greater. However, a Facebook exclusive means that what I'm doing is specifically just for Facebook. It's not available on YouTube. And if you're wondering why I haven't uploaded any SoundCloud episodes recently, it's because, well, I didn't want to have to pay to add more storage. Because I don't want to have to delete something that people still enjoy listening to. But you can still listen to it. Some changes will be made, but, I just haven't really listened to SoundCloud all that much, but I still love it. Every once in a while I'll listen to someone, even if it's not me. I'll never forget when when the Queen from Classic Rock 102 The Bear interviewed Sam Nichols about his passion for music. I loved every minute of that. I couldn't go a whole day without listening to it. It was just enjoyable. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I want to thank you for watching this episode of the Kevin Piland Show, and have a nice day.